Hello Scorpio and welcome to your November reading. It's great to see everyone again. As a reminder, you can always use these videos for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. As we tune into your general information for this month, what I call channeled information, the one thing that I was really seeing for you is a need to find your motivation. And I think there's a lot of potential energy that you can really harness through the month of November. It's one of the last few productive months of the year. It's a great month to metaphorically kind of plant seeds and see them grow in the spring. But right now, what's going to be the most challenging for your sign is how to stay motivated, how to keep pushing forward when either you have this internal sense of fatigue or not wanting to stay focused. And one thing that I would try to do is, if there's any chance to, first of all, interject or intersperse some enjoyment, some fun into your routine, even if you're a student and you're cramming for finals, or if you're working and there's a really big deadline before the holidays. This month it's important for you not to lose track of what's important. So reward yourself at random intervals whenever you've kind of reached a minor sort of like check mark of something that you've achieved. So milestone, smaller milestones, break things up into smaller pieces, celebrate the smaller victories, and before you know it, you'll be able to kind of get through the bigger production of whatever is in front of you. So really work on staying motivated, staying focused, and not denying yourself an opportunity for rest, for fun, for some relaxation. And if needed, have some people in your life help remind you that things are okay and to keep you on track. So it's a really good month. If you don't have, like if you're in business, you're going to need a project manager. If you're in school, you might need a study buddy. And if you're working out, you might need somebody to make sure that you're staying with your workout routine. So partnership is going to be really key in successfully accomplishing things. Knowing that you've come this far, don't give up. All right, now let's take a look at the cards and see what additional insights they have to bring for this month. Give it a good shuffle, we'll take a look at it, and then I'll pull a catalyst card as well. The catalyst card is really what ties together everything, and then after this I will expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And here's your catalyst. And so massive change this month. We've got the death card. It's death reverse though, so for me, whenever I see the tower reverse or death reverse, they have very different meanings. So what I'm seeing for you this month is a chance to break through stagnation, and there's going to be a challenge, like I said in the channeled information, for some of you feeling just stuck, like, oh, I can't get to the next hurdle. Or sometimes if you're a creative type, feeling blocked. So maybe you can't compose the music or write the next chapter or somehow get what you need to get done finished. So this is where you are going to need someone to just sort of break you out of that routine. And breaking routines in general is going to be very, very good. Now, death still does have a couple other connotations with it, but as the catalyst, it's speaking to not being afraid of change, to purposely break stagnation when and if possible, to take care of your health first and foremost, and if there's anyone in your life that needs assistance as well, not to be afraid to reach out to them. But this is a month of change, so let's see how the change is going to break down for you. Right at the center, I actually feel like your thought process is very, very strong, because at the center we have the Page of Wands, which is all about delivering great ideas, about really being active with your ability to brainstorm. For those of you that are in some sort of a research and development or an engineering field, that card speaks really well to your ability to continue to innovate. For the rest of you, that is a creative card that means that whatever situation you find yourself in, you can probably think yourself out of it, which is a good thing. There's a little bit of a challenge when it comes to your ability to not just stay focused, but for some of you, you're going to be torn between a couple of locations. So there may be some business travel on the horizon for many of you, and some of you might just be dealing with a lot of people across the world or in different environments. And your challenge will be, how do you track down everybody and keep all parties on the same page? So whether that's family that's spread apart, coworkers that are spread apart, or you're in a long distance relationship, there's going to be some sort of focus on needing to harmonize and bring people together when it comes to communication. As we look at your deep past, we have the High Priestess in reverse. This is really speaking to your a need for you to actually recognize that you already have good insights and that your creative energy is there. It's just hard this month for you to, for some reason, access it. So when I see that, and when I see the death card reverse, the advice is change up your routine. Try something from like a different location, a different perspective, put it aside, try a different part of it if it's a big project or a book or a painting. Try to somehow take your creativity and channel it into another area. I do see that it's all still there. You're just having trouble accessing it. So letting go of trying to do it in the same way, that's actually what's going to open it up. It will help you release some of the tension. Your output of energy is going to be higher at the beginning of the month. This is in regards to your family, in work situations, and also this is also attached to resources, so your money. So time, energy, money, there's much more of that you're going to have to put out at week 1 and 2 of the month. Towards the middle of the month, your energy and your resources are going to be focused more in self-development. This is a great time for you to invest back in things, and you're going to see more of a little bit more of an equilibrium, but realize almost all of the energy of this month is about potential that you'll realize later, trend that I've been seeing across all signs. But this is your crowning card, your 8 of Pentacles. It supports you if you want to do research, go back to school, learn something new, or simply understand that this is a month where you're going to put as much effort forth and not expect those results, not expect immediate gratification. If you set yourself up for that kind of a level of output, knowing that it will eventually pay off, then your level of satisfaction is going to be a lot higher. As we look at the middle of the month, also the near future, major changes are going to happen. I feel like you are poised for a very eventful 2018, but you're going to see the beginnings of it happening this month. So some of you may have just moved into a new place. This card is encouraging you to get settled. Some of you might have made a new shift in many aspects of your life. It might not just be one, but it could be like a place of employment, a place of where you're living, the way you're, kind of exercising and treating your health. Whatever it is in your life that you've made shifts, you're going to have to give everything time for the dust to settle. So don't try to overdo it, is really what the Tower is saying this month. With each change comes a chain of reactions, and with each change comes a period of time during which you have to sit a little bit and allow for things to take shape. The first thing you do is decide, this isn't working, I'm going to try this. The next thing that you do is give it some time, exercise some patience. Also put a little bit of faith in there and think, I have what it takes to make this happen. I'm going to make those difficult changes. I'm going to allow for the dust to settle. And once you've done that, I have the 3 of Wands here in your ego position saying that all of your insights are leading you in a really positive trajectory. And the 3 of Wands is one where you start to see it towards the end of the month, but you may not actually see all of it until January or February of next year. So give yourself some time, be patient, and know that you're really putting down some positive roots, some seeds, some foundational blocks that are going to create a much more stable and a much more satisfactory 2018. What you're challenged with right now when I'm looking at your environment is not holding back. If you are in a point in your life where you've decided to move out of a job, move out of a house, or even a relationship, the Star card reversed is saying, make sure that the next time you make a shift, that you feel it, mind, body, and soul. This has to really feel good. A lot of times we make changes, but we just keep hopping to similar situations. Don't do that this time. Decide to really make a big shift in your life. That's what these cards are showing you. You have potential for major changes this month. Now, once you've set the wheels in motion, I feel like the very end of the month, you're going to plateau, and that actually for some of you might be a big relief. We have the Hanged Man here, which is showing a period of waiting. So you have investment, and then you have patience, plateau, and waiting. And that's really going to indicate what December, even the beginning of January, could look like for some of you. A period of about 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, 8 to 10 weeks. And after that point, then you're going to start to see some more changes happening. So, this month is very positive in that whatever wasn't working is going to fall away. Whatever is working, you're going to invest more, and eventually, about 2 months out, start to see some significant gains in that area. The very last card, your outcome card, and also what I want you to focus on as you exit this reading today, is to focus on keeping the most open mind possible as all of these changes happen. A lot of times when we're going through significant shifts in our life, we can either think ourselves into a troubling point where we're like, oh my God, did I make the right decision? Or you start to worry about what other people are thinking, or you doubt yourself, you doubt your creativity or your insight. This card is saying stay strong, stay open, and the best thing you could actually do this month is do some research, talk to some other people. Just allow for things to come in rather than immediately thinking like you don't have it or jumping to any sort of a conclusion before you've allowed for the dust to settle. That's really what this month is about, making some changes, being patient. All right, now let's take a look at your health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll start off with health, which looks at mind, body, and spirit. This month, I have the Sun card in reverse. So the Sun card has to do with, the first thing I'm actually looking at for both men and women is I really want you to focus on if you're having any sort of issues with either your urinary tract or gastrointestinal area, that's an area that you want to check out with this card. And the other thing is making sure that your overall energy and vitality is what it should be. So what is your sleep-wake schedule looking like? Are you feeling rested when you get up in the morning? If not, this is about consistently putting in the same time at night, like going to bed at the same time at night and waking up at the same time in the morning. So I want you to get on a normal cycle with sleeping and waking. And then I want you to pay close attention to how your body is feeling when it comes to, are you passing through liquids well? Look at your kidneys, look at your urinary tract, look at also gastrointestinal areas. Are you absorbing liquid correctly? Are you passing it through correctly as well? I know that's an odd thing to come up, but it is health. So things that can agitate this are if you're drinking too much caffeine, if you're smoking, different kind of dietary things that might pop up like allergies or other things, but you really want to work with a doctor if this is an issue with you. For the rest of you, the Sun card has to do with something that I was hitting on earlier, which is having fun. You'll notice that usually the Sun card always has a child on it. I always associate children with an ability to have fun, release stress, let the emotions go and not hold on to them. So what's most important for many of you, especially when it comes to creative blockages that might be popping up, is the ability to basically vent a little bit, blow off some steam, relax, have fun, and then be able to get back to work. But for the rest of you, there is a note that you could be having issues with kidney or urinary tract. Some of you, it may even go into the intestines. So take a look at what you're eating, make sure that you're drinking enough water and that your toxicity level when it comes to what you're putting in, like what kind of food, what kind of drugs and other things, you want to really kind of take it easy this month and be as pure as possible with your diet. Now let's take a look at your wealth. And in the area of wealth, your message is, this is where the biggest change is going to happen for many of you. With the World card, you want to be open to new opportunities that present themselves. You might have a friend that tells you about some new job. You might go to some sort of a job fair and notice something new, or you might decide to put yourself out for a promotion or transfer. But the World card usually shows a major change in work environment, the way you work, or what you're doing at work. So be prepared for that. This can also be for personal or small companies about expanding to a more global perspective, maybe reaching out, publishing something, or having, if you never had sold services online, maybe doing something like that where you expand your audience. So think about globalizing if you're a small business or work for yourself. And if you're in a bigger company, it's about taking risks, about possibly going for a bigger promotion or just finding a new job. But I see a big change happening for you. The seeds are going to start this month, but you may not see that happening until next year. But definitely some shifts going on with how you make your money and what you do for a living. All right. One last thing that I see with this is try not to get caught up in any sort of gossip at work. Really stick to your own values and stick to getting the work done. And if there's anything that pulls you off that path, try to steer clear of that because you don't want to lose any potential contacts, and you don't want to burn any bridges. All right, we looked at health, we looked at wealth. Now let's take a look at love and relationships and see what the message is for love. So it's a month when you really don't want to compromise unnecessarily. You also want to make sure that you're seeing things from the other person's point of view and maybe not missing some sort of an opportunity to heal if it exists there. So the Four of Cups is about sometimes feeling like this isn't everything that I hoped it could be. But in the same token, both of you, if you're in a committed relationship, have to look at what can we do to either embrace what's left or what's possible, or are we ready to kind of walk away from this if it's not feeling good anymore? So honor your heart and honor your partner's heart. For those of you that are single, this is about really finding joy in your life first. Before you are happy, it's hard to find someone else that's going to see you as a viable partner. You have to be happy from within. And that really sets the tone for future relationships, not just love, but also friendships. All right, now let's take a look at your Destiny card. And your Destiny card is really more of a trajectory where if you like what you're doing, you can keep doing that and head towards that end point. But if not, this is sort of a chance for you to do a right angle or a U-turn if you need to. So we have the Ace of Cups in reverse, which makes sense based on what I'm looking at. You know, it feels like some work needs to be done in relationships. For some of you, it might feel like it's stagnating, or it might feel like you guys aren't able to, not only just stagnating, but you can't see each other. You can't make any progress in communications. And if that's the case, then it's time to reconsider and decide, what do we want to do? Do we want to fight for this? If you're in a good relationship, but you're not feeling fulfilled in another area of your life, this card directly ties up to creativity. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied artistically? Are you satisfied professionally? And whatever it is that's not inspiring you in your life, then you have to cultivate that as well. So whether you're looking for love or you have love, it's also important to be in a state of bliss because of the activities, because of what you see in the world. So that reflects right back into your relationships. So yeah, your trajectory is that you need to do more for personal fulfillment. And I would say it actually needs to not necessarily come from the relationship, but from your own life, because you're going to then be bringing that sense of satisfaction into any relationship moving forward. Now let's go ahead and summarize the information that we talked about earlier. When we began, I said the channeled information was to not get sort of like weighted down in feeling like there was one task that you can't finish, or that there's a lot of pressure, a lot of things sort of weighing heavily on you. So the key here is to reward yourself with each small victory along the way. Also break up larger tasks into small digestible pieces, and that's going to be really beneficial for you. And it's just a better way to sort of live. You don't feel so overwhelmed. As we look at the cards here, your center card is showing that it's really a good month for ideation, for research and development. Your mind seems very active and you can capitalize on that. There is a need, however, when we looked at your catalyst card, to break routines, break things up a little bit, change things. And I see a lot of change happening with Death in the Tower this month. So just stay open to that, realize that it's okay. And the areas that are going to need change are the ones where you feel like there's no movement. For some of you, that might be a relationship. Remember that the beginning of the month is going to require much more of an output of your energy. Towards the middle to end, it's going to ease a bit, but you're not necessarily going to see an immediate return. You might see some hints at it, but it's going to take 2 or 3 months for all of this effort to really pay off. The main thing you want to focus on this month is to be patient, to let the dust settle, and to realize you still have all of the ability to do what you did before. You might just have to access it from a different perspective. And finally, it's really, really important for you to stay open-minded to different ideas, to different, even constructive criticism. Just know that it's important to not sort of stay firm in old ways of doing things or old ways of thinking. Expansion is really the name of the game this month. For health, for those of you that might be suffering from some issues of like digestion, I'm especially seeing areas of like the urinary tract, kidneys, and even parts of the intestine. This could have to do with your diet or whatever sort of toxins you're putting in your body, so ease up on that. If you're feeling good in that area, this is again going back to the channeled information about just having some more fun in your life, being playful, not holding on to things. For wealth, a lot of changes are potentially going to happen for you over the next couple of months. What's up to you though is how much of a risk you want to take, how far you want to go out on a limb, and for some of you there might be chance for a move or a transfer if you want that. Looking at love, try not to compromise. You have to be happy not only in your relationship but also in your life. And as I said earlier, your final card here, your destiny card, is really speaking to finding fulfillment not solely in a relationship but also in your life. Doing that could actually improve your relationships quite a bit and possibly take away that feeling of, is this it? Or that question, I should say, is this it? So overall, really good energy, but a lot of changes. Just remember to let the dust settle and try not to panic, to be open to the change. And this time around, whatever changes you make, to make sure that you feel good about it. Because if you do, then you're pretty much unstoppable. But if there's something that you're holding back or you're repeating a cycle, then you're going to have to go through some of the same lessons that you did before, and I don't want you to have to do that. So that brings this monthly reading to a close, but before I end, I'd like to just put out a couple of quick schedule notes. First of all, I will be taking time off in December, so if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one meeting with me, the best time to do so is in November or in January, and those dates are already available on my booking site. Also, for monthly videos, I will be doing one consolidated video over the month of December, so that I'll have some time to relax and take a vacation like everybody else. Also January might be slightly shorter for that reason as well. So thanks for being patient with that. If you'd like to stay in touch, the easiest way to do so is simply to subscribe to this channel, and remember that there are two buttons to do so. One is just the simple subscribe button, but there's also a bell icon, and clicking on that will allow for you to receive emails whenever I post new videos. Another way to get those emails is simply to subscribe to my newsletter, and if you check out the description area below, you can see links for joining that, as well as connecting to my social media presence on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'd love for you to join me if you're in those networks as well. And finally, if you'd like to just give back to the channel and say thanks, you can do so on Patreon or on my website. There's a donate link in the description area as well. Finally, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the hard work that everybody does from month to month. I do appreciate the energy you're putting into expanding your consciousness, becoming more empathic, and really trying to make this world a better place. So from my heart to yours, I wish you much success, happiness, and also patience as you go through all the changes that are ahead of you this month. Be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Take care. Bye-bye.